There's been so much Yeezy news that's dropped over the last couple days. In fact, almost this entire episode is going to be filled with Yeezy news because there's just so much of it. But hey, for those of you who are not fans of Yeezys, I decided to throw in some other kind of cool stuff in this week's Weekly Heat to kind of change things up a little bit, like some of the top sneakers on sale. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, make sure to stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler, and this is Weekly Heat. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell down below if you want to see more videos just like this. And also, I've added some affiliate links in the description below if you guys want to check out some of the best sneakers on sale and also try and grab some of the sneakers that we talk about in today's video, maybe a little bit early. So starting things off, it looks like my dreams are actually coming true, and the patent leather Bred Air Jordan 1s are just that. Patent leather Bred Air Jordan 1s. And it seems like every week now we're getting newer and better images of these shoes, which just leads me to believe that this is no longer a rumor, this is something that's actually happening. And it's actually funny because today I was wearing my Bred 1s completely by coincidence. This is like my favorite shoe of all time, and the fact that I might have the opportunity to grab a pair of these in patent leather, or I guess a couple more pairs of these because I only have 2 pairs and I'd love to have more, is just so incredible. Seriously, I'm stoked. I love this shoe. I think it's the perfect sneaker, and although I don't love patent leather as a material, I still think the colorway just makes this shoe the best patent leather one ever. I do have to say though that these images make this shoe look really, really good, and the gloss on the upper of this sneaker, while I don't love it, it does sort of elevate the sneaker and make it seem like more of an icon than just a regular pair of sneakers. Man, I mean, just look at these images. Look how good these sneakers look. Oof, I can't wait. Now, unfortunately, we will have to wait a couple months for these patent leather Bred Air Jordan 1s to release because they don't drop until October 23rd of this year, or at least that's the tentative date. It could change, but as of right now, that's when it looks like that they're dropping. And let me tell you, I need as many pairs as possible of these shoes. I'm gonna buy up all the stock everywhere that I can, because these shoes are fire. I seriously regret not doing that with the 2016 retro Bred Air Jordan 1s, and I have to do it with these. Next up, it looks like Adidas is completely revamping the NMD silhouette with the brand new Adidas NMD S1. It's about time. The last couple years of NMDs have been kind of garbage, and they've been dropping the same ones over and over and over again. We need something new and we need something different, and the S1s look like they're exactly that. Actually, the more that I look at these images, the more that it looks like a pair of NMD midsoles and outsoles, or an updated pair of NMD midsoles and outsoles attached to a pair of Ultra Boost mids, which makes sense why I like this shoe so much now, because I love the Ultra Boost mid. So from what I can tell from these images, it looks like the Adidas NMD S1 is a trail silhouette, which is kind of interesting. The outsole of the shoe seems to have a very aggressive traction pattern, which is what leads me to believe that, and the midsole of the sneaker no longer has exposed boost, and it looks like the boost is now encased by some sort of thin rubber. What really draws my attention to this shoe though are the brand new NMD plugs on the sides of the midsole. It looks like there's now 3 instead of the 2 on the previous NMDs, and they're much thinner and much farther out from the side of the sneaker. I'm still not sure exactly what those things are for. Are they for stability? Do they keep the boost like from being too mushy in those areas? I have no idea. Regardless, this shoe looks insanely comfortable, mainly due to that prime knit upper, which really seems like an Ultra Boost upper, which I'm all for. And while I'm not sure if this shoe is going to be the runaway success that the original NMD was, I definitely think it's going to bring some new life into the NMD line. I mean, it really is a pretty dope looking sneaker. I like how different it is. I like how much more modern it looks than the previous NMDs. I think it's a step in the right direction. As of right now, there is no release date for the NMD S1, but expect this shoe to drop sometime in the near future because we're getting images of the final shoe. Before we dive into the truckload of Yeezy news that's about to hit us, let me tell you guys about our upcoming Apothecary sock drop. So this week's sock drop is one of my favorites to date, and we're dropping 4 different colorways. Each one of these socks come in a really cool color gradient. You've got a red to yellow gradient, you've got a blue to lighter blue, you've got a green to yellow, and then a black to white. And what I love most about this style is that it almost looks like you're wearing 3 different pairs of socks, which is something that I didn't think I would like at first, but I threw them on feet and I'm like, damn, that's fresh. I know it sounds like I'm hyping this sock drop up because it's my own brand, and to be fair, yeah, I'm doing that a little bit, but this is a great sock collection for summer because it comes in a bunch of different great colors, and it actually goes with a lot of different pairs of sneakers, which I'm super stoked on. My personal favorite pairs out of the collection are the black and white pair and the red and yellow pair because I just wear a lot of black and red shoes. obviously with the Bred ones that are kind of a daily sneaker for me, but I think all the colorways are great. So if you want to try and grab any of the socks from the collection, or maybe all of the socks from the collection, they drop tomorrow, Friday, June 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on apothecary.com. And of course, I've made sure to leave links to them in the description down below if you want to try and grab them on release day. But jumping into some of this crazy Yeezy news, the first story that I wanted to talk about was Kanye wearing a pair of Nikes. Now at first, that might not sound like a story at all because we all wear different brands of sneakers all the time. But for the last 6 years, Kanye West has been signed with Adidas and is one of Adidas's largest collaborators. And usually when you sign a contract like that, you sign away your right to wear any other kinds of sneakers just because it's a bad look when someone sees you wearing a different brand of sneakers when you're the ambassador for the other brand. If you get what I'm saying, I made that sound a lot more complicated than it actually is. So Kanye West wearing a pair of Nike sneakers, Nike Vandals, kind of stirs up some questions. Is Kanye West still with Adidas, which I'm sure he is because he's got a lot more Yeezy sneakers coming? Is it possible that maybe he's also collaborating with Nike, which I don't think is the case? Or does his contract have a clause that after a certain number of years he can wear whatever sneaker brand he wants? I don't know which one of those options it is. It is possible that he just didn't even realize he was throwing on a pair of Nikes and he wore them out by accident. I don't think that's the case because he's usually very conscious about what he's wearing, but at the same time, who knows? So in my opinion, this is more of a non-news story than anything, and the only reason I covered it is because it was all over the place yesterday, which was kind of crazy to me. I don't know, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is Kanye West going to Nike? Has his contract with Adidas ended? Or is his head just in the clouds and he didn't realize he was throwing on a pair of Nike Vandals? I don't know. Make sure to let me know what you guys think. Next up, it looks like we finally have a release date and a region map for the upcoming Adidas YEEZY 350 V2 Mono collection. So I've been so excited for this collection because this is the first time in a long time that we're getting a major overhaul on the Adidas YEEZY 350 V2. And what makes this collection so interesting is that on all three colorways of the shoe, the entire upper of the shoe is semi-transparent. And not only that, but they've also added these really cool organically shaped underlays underneath that transparent mesh, so it gives the shoe a very cool sort of alien looking effect. As you're probably aware, this collection comes in 3 different colorways: the Mono Ice colorway, the Mono Clay colorway, and the Mono Mist colorway. And each one of these colorways release on June 24th, which is in the next couple weeks, in different parts of the world. I know, Adidas and Kanye love to do regional releases and love to make it harder for people to collect his shoes. I mean, there's already a million different colorways out there. A lot of them look the same, so it's hard enough already. Why make it even harder? So let's talk about where each one of these colorways is actually releasing. So the first colorway, the Mono Ice colorway, which is my own personal favorite, is releasing in the Americas. The Mono Clay colorway is releasing in Asia, and the Mono Mist colorway is releasing in Europe. Like I said, the Mono Ice colorway is my favorite. I don't really have any sort of need to grab any of the other 2 colorways other than for a review, which I probably won't be doing on those 2 colorways, but if you are interested on my thoughts on the Mono Ice colorway, I do have a pair coming in tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned for that review. It's dropping in the next like 24 hours. Continuing on with the Yeezy news, like I told you guys we would be, we've got another Yeezy 350 colorway dropping called the Yeezy 350 MX Oat colorway. So the 350 MX Oat colorway is a brand new Adidas YEEZY 350 V2 pattern. And I've got to say, this is one of the most wild looking 350 V2s we've had in a very long time. Is that a good thing? I don't know. It is a new style, so I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, this is a wild looking sneaker. So the upper of the shoe comes with a wild multicolor swirl pattern that's pretty different from anything that we've seen before in a pair of 350s. The shoe does still feature that semi-transparent stripe on the side of the sneaker, and the main base color of the shoe seems to be some sort of like light lime green, which I guess is fine. It actually reminds me a lot of the McChickens, which was one of my least favorite pairs of 350 V2s. But to be fair, it is a less out there colorway, I guess. It's not like bright neon green with blues and reds. It's like a dull neon green with browns and blues. I don't know, it's a wild looking shoe, and if you like it, great. If you don't like it, fine, just don't buy it. It doesn't really matter, but I am happy to see some new patterns on the upper of the 350 V2s. We have actually already seen another pair of 350 V2 MXs before in a black and brown colorway. That was a couple weeks ago. That was also reported by Yeezy Mafia. Personally, out of these 2 colorways, I think I'd go with the black one because that one's a little bit more, I don't know, I just like it better personally. But according to Yeezy Mafia, it does look like the 350 V2 MX Oat colorway will be dropping sometime in October of this year. Next up, we've got a brand new Yeezy Foam Runner colorway, this time around called the MX Cream Clay. So I just read this on Yeezy Mafia's website after I just talked about the other MX sneaker, but apparently MX stands for randomized or mixed, so that every MX sneaker is different than the other. Not like completely different, like they're using different colors, but the pattern and the shape of the pattern changes from shoe to shoe because obviously in the case of the Foam Runners, it's a mold that's kind of had materials poured into it. That actually makes me wonder if the 350s that we just talked about are going to have a randomized pattern. I kind of doubt it because Primeknit is difficult to randomize the pattern in. At least I think that it would be. So I don't know if that's the case across the board. Maybe that's just the name that they're giving the sort of randomized looking pattern, and for the foam runners it's actually random, and for the 350s it's not. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see until a pair of 350 MXs actually come out and we can compare two pairs against each other. But we know for a fact, because of the previous Foam Runner MX release, that the patterns do vary from shoe to shoe on the foam runners. On the MX Cream Clay colorway in particular, you've got this cream colored upper, which is very similar to the Sands and the Ararats, and then as you move down on the sneaker, you've got more of a gray and brown look. I actually kind of dig this a little bit more than the MX Teen Moons. Oh wait, they were called the MX Teen Moons. So they're not technically MXs, but they were randomized. I don't understand the naming scheme at all. I don't get it. This newer version of the shoe kind of looks like you stood in mud or something like that and you've kind of got your Ararats dirty. I know that's kind of a weird look, but I don't mind it. I really like it a lot. Maybe it's just the fact that I love the foam runners and I'm pretty much fine with any colorway except for the red ones for some reason. I don't know why I don't like the red ones that much. I don't know. The foam runners are one of my favorite sneakers of 2020 and one of my favorite sneakers moving into 2021. If you have not tried a pair yet, try and grab one for retail and rock the hell out of them because they're incredibly comfortable, incredibly durable, and they look wild. And if you like people staring at your feet, this is a shoe to wear because people will definitely be staring at your feet. If you are trying to grab a pair of the Adidas YEEZY Foam Runner MX Cream Clays, according to Yeezy Mafia, these shoes should be dropping sometime around July. Continuing the news with some more Yeezy runners, this time around we've got a brand new pair of Yeezy runners, or at least Yeezy runner prototypes, that don't come in foam and instead come in a knit. So these shoes look a lot like the Yeezy Foam Runners, at least shape-wise. They have the same sort of bulbous kind of pillow on top of your foot look. However, the biggest change is the fact that the upper of this shoe comes in a knit and not a foam. Not sure exactly how that's gonna work, but it seems like that's what they're prototyping. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of like foam internal construction to give this shoe its shape and to give you some cushioning underfoot, but really, other than this picture, we don't have any more information about this sneaker, so we really don't know what this shoe is made of. But in addition to that, what makes this shoe so interesting is the fact that it looks like they dipped half of this shoe in a yellow paint, which gives the shoe a very unique and brightly colored look. There's also kind of like an interesting punch-out looking thing around the forefoot of the shoe. It kind of reminds me of what Jordan Brand did with that kind of hole through the midsole of their Air Jordan 35s. I mean, you guys know me, I love the foam runner, so I'm definitely interested in any shoe that's similar to that. So whenever this shoe ends up coming out, maybe it's gonna be called the Knit Runner or something like that, I will definitely be trying to grab a pair because I'd love to try it out. As of right now though, it does look like this shoe is just in the prototyping or sampling phase. There's no pictures of this shoe in retail packaging or even information about this shoe actually coming out, but it's an interesting looking shoe, and if it does come out, I'm sure it'll be sometime around the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year according to Yeezy Mafia. After that, let's move into a brand new segment which I like to call the best sneakers on sale this week. And as you could probably have guessed from the name of this segment is about the best sneakers that are on sale this week. And starting off this brand new segment, we've got a pair of Nike Air Max 2090s on sale at Dick'sSportingGoods.com. So there's actually a lot of different colorways available at Dick'sSportingGoods.com right now, and a lot of them are on sale, but the colorway that I'm showing on screen is actually available right now for just 94 bucks, which to be honest is pretty crazy considering the price of this shoe is usually $149, so you're getting almost a $50 discount. And while I don't think the Air Max 2090 is like the best Air Max ever, it's still a great shoe, it's still an easy shoe to rock, and it looks good. So if you would like to grab this pair from Dick'sSportingGoods.com, I've made sure to leave a link in the description below. Also available on Dick'sSportingGoods.com, we've got a bunch of different colorways of the older Adidas Ultra Boost 20 available. And when I say a bunch of different colorways, I mean a bunch of different colorways. And the discount that you get really depends on which colorway you end up picking. So these colorways range in price from full retail, 180 bucks, all the way down to just $104. That means if you grab the cheapest colorway, you're getting basically a $75 discount. It's nuts. The Ultra Boost is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. The Ultra Boost 20 is not one of my favorite Ultra Boosts, but it's definitely a great performance running sneaker. It's also one of the most comfortable sneakers I've ever worn, and being able to grab one for around 100 bucks is a really, really solid deal. Okay, so the final thing that I wanted to talk about in our sale segment of today's video is not really a pair of sneakers at all, although it is sort of related to sneakers, and that's this Air Jordan 1 t-shirt on footlocker.com. So this t-shirt is pretty cool. It's got a pair of black toe Air Jordan 1s kind of hanging over your shoulder, similar to to how Michael Jordan had them in that one famous picture. I think it's a really great t-shirt. It's simple, it's clean, it kind of has this cool offset design, which I'm into, and right now on footlocker.com, it's actually $10 off its regular retail price. It's usually priced at $35 even, and right now it's on sale for $24.99. Not only that, if you're not a fan of white t-shirts in general, you can also grab this in gray or black, and if you're a fan of Jordan 1s or just Jordan 1 stuff, or I guess Michael Jordan stuff, this is a great shirt to pick up at a great price. But now let's dive into the final story of the day, the brand new Nike LeBron 19. So this shoe just got unveiled through some brand new Space Jam 2 promotional material, and I've gotta say, this shoe is sick. It has been a long time since I've been a huge fan of the LeBron line, and it really has just been because there hasn't been anything iconic released in a while. And I know that's a lot to ask from a pair of sneakers, but LeBron's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Not the greatest, but one of the greatest, and so he deserves a couple pairs of sneakers that really stand the test of time, and I think the LeBron 19 will be one of those sneakers. What makes the LeBron 19 so special, in my opinion, is the design, and that's mainly because I love the design, but also because we haven't heard about the tech specs of this shoe yet, so we don't know how the shoe is going to perform on court yet, but design-wise, this shoe is incredible looking. Tech-wise, although we don't know all the specifics about this shoe, it does look like this shoe still features some sort of Air Max unit and air unit on the midsole and outsole of the sneaker. It still looks like the lacing system is similar to previous pairs. It's still a high top sneaker, and it also looks like there's some sort of like, I don't know if it's an air unit or foam unit or something around the heel, but it's something kind of different. And you know what, honestly, I'm fine with this shoe not being knit anymore, or at least not looking knit anymore. I like this more classic look. It just fits with LeBron's style better. It sort of draws inspiration from older LeBrons, very popular LeBrons, and mixes it in with new modern design style. The whole shoe has this crazy LeBron look to it. Like when you look at this shoe, you know it's a LeBron sneaker. Maybe that's because of the crown accents around the heel of the shoe, but it just looks like a pair of LeBrons. Personally, I'm obsessed with that orange and blue colorway that they just announced. There's also a white and blue colorway if you don't like that orange and blue that much, but this is a colorway that I want to grab. I just think it's such a cool look. It ties in with the Space Jam movies so well, and the shoe just looks amazing. Shout out to the design team behind this shoe. This shoe is incredible looking. You guys knocked it out of the park, and I cannot wait to buy a pair of these. In fact, I'm gonna have to try and buy a pair early if I can, somewhere, somehow. I need a pair of these. But that pretty much wraps up Weekly Heat for this week. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on all of the sneaker stories that we talked about in today's video, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to check out tomorrow's Apothecary drop. It's gonna be crazy. It's one of my favorites in a long time. They've all been good drops, but this one's especially dope, so make sure to check that out through the link in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.